for tuning to Kinda Smart.
You ready? I'm sure you are. I ask everyone, they're always ready. It's always me.
I'm prepared.
All right. Hey everyone, welcome to Kinda Smart with me, Abby, again. Episode number 7, I believe. Here we are. We got another special guest. His name is Eric W. Here he is today.
Eric W. Here I am.
And he is my stepdad, but my dad. I've known him, he's been my dad since I was 5, so here he is. And Eric, I was gonna say, how do we know each other? That's what I asked all my guests, but I just told you that.
That's true.
So,
I do know you from very tiny and sweet to what you are today.
Yes,
Lovely.
crazy.
Crazy.
If you could let's do a short, brief intro, like first time in class. Hey, Eric, describe yourself. Who are you? Icebreaker.
Icebreaker. Okay. So, I'm 58 years old
Okay.
this year. Not quite, but almost 58 years old. So I'm considerably older.
Okay, in August, he's a Leo.
August?
No. Yeah.
Yeah? Are you not sure?
Well, I know I get confused with Leo and Virgo because
Oh.
your birthdays are close.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. 4 kids, from 36 down to 20.
Oh, wow. You know how old Charlie is?
Of course I do.
Wow. Mom didn't, neither do I.
Well, Mom's not great at math,
That's
but
true.
that's all right. Let's see. I have been in construction for a really long time, although that's not how I thought it would start out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of where it ended up. I've been in construction now since 1989.
Yep.
And I love it. I'm very fortunate to be able to wake up every day and be excited about what I do and happy about what I do.
Yeah.
Some days are great and some days aren't, like any other job, but
Yeah.
I do love it. My career is,
But when you say you're in construction, you don't obviously mean like building houses, right?
no, commercial building. So I have been in the convenience store construction for a very long time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're like managing projects.
I don't really go out and do project management anymore. I manage the teams that
Do that.
do the projects. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So you're like big wig.
I don't know about big, but I'm up there a ways.
You're a big wig at least.
I've worked a long time to get there. I
Yeah.
have 3 directors that report to me in a group of about 20, 25 people.
Yeah.
And I love it. I have super smart people working for me, and they're very motivated, and it makes my job super easy.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good that you like your job. I
do.
mean, it's
I love it.
It really makes your life kind of suck when you don't like your job.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there too. It sucks. I'm lucky enough that I like my job. It was rough for like a couple months, but that's it. Back to normal, back to business. I love my job. And I get to help people, so.
Yeah. That's pretty nice. I mean, my job doesn't really help people.
Well,
It
people
provides
need
a service to people, but
Yeah.
it's not like what you do is probably makes a difference, and what I do doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, I guess. But it's a service people need, at
Service
least.
people need,
You're not
for
like
sure.
selling freaking diamonds.
No.
Yeah. I've worked at a jewelry store and I felt horrible trying to upsell people on jewels. Like, come on, how many jewels do you need?
I remember that. I loved it when you worked there.
No, it's awful.
Yeah.
I was pregnant. I was like 8 months pregnant. I worked there at the end of my pregnancy. They would make me stand all day. They were like, you have to wear slacks. They can't be stretchy. I'm like, excuse me?
I remember.
Can you buy them?
I remember it. It was something.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lordy. So, yeah, but I just felt guilty. Sales for me, like if I'm selling something, unless I completely back it, I feel horrible about selling it to people.
Yeah, I think the thing that's important about sales is you have to really believe in what you're doing. So I did have an opportunity a while back working for a company where we were building a construction department from scratch, and that was part of the job, was going out and meeting with clients and talking to them and trying to get them excited about using our services for that. And luckily for me, it came very naturally because that's what I love to do and I enjoyed it. But it didn't seem like work and it didn't seem difficult. But I've seen people struggle that don't know how to do it, or maybe they haven't been in the that segment for a long time, and they just don't have that experience, and they struggle. And you can tell that sometimes they hate it. Comes out.
Yeah, it just has to be natural, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I love that you love your job. I love that I love my job. I'm so sad that Mom doesn't love her job.
I think right now Mom is just.
I think she
has
did
so
at one
many
point.
I think she does like what she does. I think she enjoys helping people who help others and managing and leading. She does love that.
It's just too much right now.
Right now there's just a lot going on for her, and it's a really difficult situation. So, but that'll change. It always does.
It'll all work out.
If you don't like it, just wait a little bit. Something will change.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was good. Yeah. Anyways, so if you could describe yourself in a sentence, if you can do that.
Oh gosh, I don't know if I can do that. Describe myself in one sentence?
Or if it's easier, you can do like 3 words.
I love our family.
Okay.
I love being a grandfather. It's one of the best things that's ever happened to me.
I can only imagine.
And I love doing stuff with my friends and people that I love. I love traveling.
Yeah.
Those are the things that I really love.
Awesome.
I think about that more and more as I get older too, and as you start to near, I know when Hunter was on, he talked about that. He's already retired. He's younger than me, and he's already retired.
Yeah.
And those are things that you definitely think about the older you get and the closer you get to that age. And I really would love to be able to do some travel.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to do it like Hunter does. He wants to go and be gone for
free.
months and years at a time. I want to have a home base. I want to be close to you guys. I want to be close to our family, and then have the ability to go somewhere,
Take
Mexico,
trips.
Europe, wherever it is.
Yeah, for sure. And you also, Alex, your youngest, is only 20, so.
Yeah, she's got a ways to go.
She doesn't really know what she's doing. You can't just leave her
She'll
hanging.
figure it out. You did.
Yeah, she'll figure it out. She's smart enough, but yeah. So yeah, you started off in construction. You've obviously worked your way up. I think your first job was Circle K.
No, I started long before that.
Valero?
My first job was actually at a place called Diamond Shamrock.
Oh yes,
which
I forgot.
eventually was purchased by Valero, so it ended up being Valero. I was there for 18 years. Started in the field, working with my hands, digging, putting things together, piping, installing tanks and removing tanks, and realized that I wasn't built to work outside my life. That's just not something that I didn't enjoy. And some people do, but it wasn't my thing. And so I moved into the office and worked in some crew management and estimating and leading and managing, and just kept on building on that. Went back to school a little bit later in life, got my master's degree, and then really started going for more leadership type positions than actual hands-on positions.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, definitely worked your way up the ladder.
I did
Seamlessly, kind of.
And it's funny, how it really started out was in high school and junior high and grade school. I started playing the trumpet, and that's what I thought I was going to be, was a trumpet player. And I loved it. And I went to school, had a scholarship.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Enjoyed myself so much doing that. Made some lifelong friends that I still keep in touch with today while I was in college and high school and in band. And, kind of got out of school and realized that playing the trumpet is really cool and a lot of fun. And if you're doing it for a living, when you work, it's really quite lucrative. But
Yeah.
when you're not working, you're having to do something else. And so I ended up back here in Texas, and a family friend of ours, of mine from high school, oh, that probably was really loud when I just hit that.
It's fine. I do it all the time.
A family friend of ours, his dad was working here at Diamond Shamrock, and he called me one day just kind of out of the blue, and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I said, "Fine." He said, "Are you happy with what you're doing?" I'm like, "No." So he gave me my first break.
That's awesome.
And I
Yeah, you just never know.
worked my tail off.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, when you get a good break, you take it.
That's
That's
it.
awesome. So that's what you've done for a living, but you've had a lot of side jobs, yeah?
yeah.
So I think the most recent and probably the coolest one, not gonna lie, is your work with drones, which is
Yeah.
crazy. So
I've had some great opportunities
Oh, yeah.
in working in the drone field. Started with just kind of radio controlled planes at first. I was really interested in that. I'd stick little cameras on them and fly them and record and make little videos and post them up. And then as technology got better through the 2000s, then drones were out and they started putting real cameras on drones with gimbals so that they're perfectly still when you're videoing and all this really cool stuff. And so in my construction career, I actually took 2 years out of that to go and be a photographer and a drone pilot, and really loved that. Got to do some super cool stuff.
Yeah.
I have a credit for a drone camera on a Netflix special called Night on Earth.
Yeah.
One of the guys that I know in drones, his name's Sparky, and he and I got to go do that together, and it was amazing and fun
Yeah.
and really cool.
That's crazy. It was about bats, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the bats in San Antonio,
Yeah.
sure enough. Not Austin, San Antonio.
So you've recorded with drones, like the bats, they come out once a year or
Once a
something?
night, they come
Oh,
out of
once
the-
a night, every night.
Yeah.
But they like swirl
They
around in a
swirl.
tornado, thousands of them.
And then they fly down range and go up to like 20 or 30,000 feet
Yeah.
at night. And
And
they
you were
feed at
just
night.
recording with them, kind of,
We were flying along, yeah.
just
I
a
mean, it
little
was-
bit away from them, but
Yeah,
like you
well, we
were
don't-
flying with them, basically.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
really cool.
Crazy.
I've done some Toyota commercials. I got to do some stuff with Chevy.
Crazy.
Lots of neat stuff. So very fortunate. Worked very hard at it though. Same thing.
But that's so cool that it was a hobby that you just took up because you were interested in it, and then you just made so much money off of it and did cool things like Netflix and
Yeah.
Toyota, and like that's just insane.
I still do some stuff on the side.
Like you are so good at your hobby.
Well, I put a lot of time into it, and and I enjoy it. I think that's one of the keys.
Yeah.
Something that I love.
Yeah.
I
Comes easy.
Yeah, I still do a little bit of it for a big developer here in Frisco, Texas.
Okay.
And I work for them around the state of Texas and still get to do some of that on the side for fun. And it's one of those things where when you're out there and you set everything up and you get ready to do the shoot and maybe you're going to fly for an hour, everything else just kind of goes away.
Yeah.
And all the things,
Time
the
goes
pressures
by
of
so fast.
life and stress and emotion, all that just kind of fades away and you're just out there having a good time and enjoying yourself. And I really love that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I was just gonna ask you something. I was gonna say I feel like that when I do my nails. So maybe I should.
Everything falls away when you do your nails.
It really does. Time goes by like that, and I'm just so focused, and I think about all my life,
Your life choices.
all my
or-
life choices, all my future progress.
Oh my, yeah.
It's-
That's big
it's
stuff for
deep.
nails. Well, how often do you do your nails?
Every 2 weeks, maybe.
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's more than I do mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My birthday's next week. I don't know. It's on the 16th. But we're celebrating. We're
Next
celebrating
Saturday.
this weekend, and I did my own nails. You can't see, but they're red. And then on the thing, they have a olive.
Little tiny olive.
So
Pretty
cute.
fancy.
So cute. I'm really good at doing my own nails. No one else is. So we'll see.
I always gave it a shot with all of you. If anybody ever said, "Hey, will you help me with my nails?" Absolutely. And I'm not really great at doing nails.
Details, yeah, little.
I mean, I can do it, but then there was always the obligatory, "Now let me do you." You did that, Alex did that, everybody did that.
Yeah.
And so you get to go to work with green nails or red nails. Didn't bother me.
Yeah.
But yeah, or feet. You know, you're walking around in flip-flops and you have one red nail and a
Just
blue
a
nail.
little chipped.
Yeah, just looks like, wow. But I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
It's something that I always thought was fun to do with you guys.
Yeah, that's cute. So you have a lot of cool side jobs. You did drones a lot. You also did the four-wheeling for a long time, I feel like.
Yeah, I did. I
And you-
four-wheeled for a really long time. It was one of those things I did in between. I started kind of at the end of my first marriage, and then when I was single, I did it a bunch with my friend
Gotcha.
that lives up in Oklahoma, and we traveled all around the U.S. and did it. And we had a little website, and we'd post videos on the website. It was called monkeybuttworld.com was the website. It was a lot of fun.
And why is that? Where'd you get the name?
Monkey butt?
Yeah.
Well, that's what you get when you're riding four-wheelers all day in the sand, in the sand dunes, is you get sand in your pants and your ass turns red.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes, and that's what we called monkey butt.
And then you guys came out with your own baby powder with a
No,
little
we
logo.
we didn't come out with that.
You just made one for fun.
Mom just bought that for me online somewhere,
Oh,
and basically
okay.
it was Gold Bond powder.
Well, I was a kid and I was like, they have their own baby powder line.
Well, the stories get bigger when you're little, that's
Yeah.
for sure. But no, Mom bought me that, and it was just a joke, and it was fantastic. I
Yeah.
think I still have that, actually.
Probably somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool though.
That was a lot of fun. We did it all over the place whenever there was a spare weekend, or
a lot of sand dunes.
lots of sand dunes. That was our favorite. We traveled to Glamis, California, and Dumont Dunes in California, Oklahoma, all the dunes there. I did a four-wheeler race for old people in
Oh wow.
Nocona, Texas. My friend Warren and I both entered it. Warren, he's one of these guys that's like a real thrill junkie.
Yeah.
Anything to go.
Yeah.
When he's riding his four-wheeler, he's jumping as far as it will go. And if he falls and hurts himself, he doesn't care. I'm
Yeah.
much more reserved. And so your mom was there, and his wife was there, and they were kind of laughing after the race was over. And by the way, it was absolutely exhausting. It was exhausting. I think it went for like 20 minutes, and you just did as many laps as you could.
Oh my gosh.
And your mom dubbed me as having the best posture of any guy out there.
Oh wow.
Apparently,
there you go.
I was very straight up and down. And listen, I'm not a guy that's going to go jump a half a mile. It just wasn't my thing. I like to go fast, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I guess Warren, your friend, was a very big adrenaline junkie because he did all that, and then he's a sheriff?
He's a highway patrolman. In
Highway
Oklahoma.
Patrol. So he just is ready for the action,
Yeah,
apparently.
he does it all. He bungee jumps. He hangs
Oh my
off of
gosh.
helicopters, and
Wow.
you name it, he's done it. And
That's crazy.
I love him for it, but I'm never gonna do that.
Would you skydive?
I don't think so.
Really?
Not anymore.
I
no.
want to.
Well, I'm too heavy to skydive right now, so.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's a weight limit.
Oh wow. I did not know that.
You would not have to worry about it.
I would not. I want to. The closest I've done was I did the helicopter tour in Hawaii.
Oh, in Hawaii, yeah.
I feel like I could jump out of that. I'd be fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
was
when
chilling.
when I'm on the plane and I'm looking out the windows and
You're like,
you know,
yeah, I could jump.
I could jump. I could survive if I jumped out of this for
With a
sure.
parachute, no biggie.
But it's just not my thing. It's definitely his thing.
Yeah,
Not my thing.
I like the adrenaline rush. I like roller coasters and
I think I did a lot as a kid, but
Mm-hmm.
as you get older, and that's why I don't go four-wheel riding anymore. As I got older and kids and responsibility, you crash a couple of times and you think, wow, that really hurt.
Ugh,
and
yeah,
you
that's
start, thinking about,
you're like that took months to recover from.
yeah. And as you're doing these things, I never worried about dying. That's
Yeah.
not something that scared me. But what
Just
scared me,
inconveniencing your family and
no, what
money.
scared me was like, what happens if I'm paralyzed and
Yeah,
now somebody has to
inconveniencing your family.
take care of me? Yeah, and Abby has to wipe my butt every
Oh,
day.
no.
You know, that's just about the worst thing I can think of.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
yeah.
goodness. Well,
Something else that I've done that's really cool. I got the opportunity to go to Europe a few years back, and we were in Germany, and we started in Munich and traveled our way up to Frankfurt, Germany. And
always wanted to go.
on that route is Stuttgart, Germany, and
Okay.
in Stuttgart is where they build Porsche.
Oh,
And so I got to go to the plant, and they have this thing over there called Porsche Drive. And they basically handed me the keys to a $200,000 machine.
oh my gosh.
Tank was full, and they turn you loose out on the Autobahn. And
Oh wow.
I drove the heck out of that thing. There was a guy with me, so it was an hour for each of us. It was an hour out and an hour back.
Wow.
And
How fun.
It was amazing.
And for those of you who don't know, you should know, but the Autobahn is the roads in Germany that like go super, super fast.
It kind of goes all the way throughout Europe, and there are speed limits,
But they're high.
but they're really high.
Like what? How fast were you going?
Gosh, I think the fastest I went was about 260
Oh
miles,
my.
60 kilometers an hour. It's 260,
Okay.
280 kilometers.
So
It was
that's-
about 150, 170, somewhere in there.
Okay. It
was super fast.
I've gone 150 in Logan's car.
It's super fast. And this was for like 10 minutes straight, cruising down the road.
That's terrifying,
It was
but
it
yeah.
was amazing. The poor guy that was with me. So my dad was a mechanic. That's what he did, an auto
Oh,
mechanic.
okay.
And he was a VW, Audi, and Porsche mechanic. So I grew up around these cars, and it was always something that we talked about when I was little. Wouldn't it be great to go to Germany and drive one of those on the Autobahn?
Oh wow, that's so cool.
Unfortunately, my dad had passed away, but I got to go do that.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
Living.
balls to the wall, man. I just stuck it on the floor and left it there.
That's so cool.
And the poor kid
When
that
was that?
This was in 2011.
Oh,
No,
wow,
wait,
okay.
hang on. No, we were back in Texas, so that would have made it 2013 or 14.
Back in Texas. That's
Yeah.
what I. Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but it was amazing. It was one of the coolest things I've ever done.
I bet.
And just going as fast as I could, and nobody cared.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, I love driving fast now that I know. Now that I'm a good driver. Now that I'm a good driver, don't look at me like that. Have you seen me drive? What do you mean? You haven't seen me drive.
No, you're right. But I have talked to people who've been in the car with you
Okay, well.
recently, even. And they say it's terrifying.
Oh my goodness. Well, I feel confident. So.
Well, that's good. That's all that's important is that you're confident, you're making good choices.
I am.
You're following the rules.
I do like going fast sometimes.
No, follow the rules. That's always the best.
No, I do go the speed limit because this is my new car, so I take it very seriously. I do go the speed limit, but I will say one night recently in the past couple weeks, I was driving. It was like 11 o'clock, so no cars, right? And this truck is driving next to me, like in my blind spot, you know? So I'm like, okay, speed up a little because he's just sitting there in my blind spot. So I speed up a little, get in front of him. Then he speeds up, gets right back in my blind spot. I'm like, okay. So then I speed up more, way in front of him. And he gets right back up next to me. I'm like, oh, this guy wants to race.
Oh.
So I gun it, and he guns it, and we race for a good, it was like a stretch of no cars. And
you're in your car or Logan's car?
I'm in my car, but I still beat him because it was a truck.
Still a hot rod.
And I have an Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
It's an SUV, but it's got
Still a hot rod.
some power. So,
Yeah,
and then he got off, or I was getting off on my exit, so I got over into the next lane, blinked, and it was just some middle-aged man. We were like, bye. That was fun. Just, I don't know, having fun, I guess. I don't know. It was
I've done that crazy thing in Europe that I did, but for me, in most of life, I am a rule follower.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thing. I think it's no surprise to you for sure. But
I am too, but also I do like the adrenaline. So sometimes I just break the rules, but when I break them, I break them pretty big. So,
well, just be careful.
yeah.
That's dangerous.
No, that's the only time I've done that. And there was literally 0 cars. And
Except for the guy that was next to you.
yeah. And he
So
was
not
driving right.
0
He
cars.
really wanted it. So. But yeah, that was fun. That was my first time. Logan races people all the time. I'm like, you're crazy. But he's an amazing driver. So.
Well, I have an electric car now, which I love, by the way. And holy moly, they are fast. They are
Zips.
so quick.
Yeah.
I really didn't understand the power of electric vehicles until recently.
It is pretty crazy. They kind of just, it's a different feeling. They just,
It's just instant power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weird.
And it's a lot of fun. But I mean, it's kind of wasted on me. I drive around in eco mode all the time and trying to save power and figure out how I can go farther and farther on a charge. And, while everybody in my neighborhood that has a Tesla, they're going up and down the streets 1,000,000 miles an hour. And
oh yeah,
that's just not my thing.
zipping around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved when I had my Mini Cooper though. That was fun.
Yeah.
You'd go 70 miles an hour, feel like you're flying.
Well, Mom has a Mini Cooper still, and
Yeah.
since I sit at home all day and work from the office all day at home, she's now taken over my car, and I don't own my car anymore. So now I own the Mini Cooper, and I drive the Mini
Gotcha.
Cooper around town. If I go out to lunch or go do something quick during the
How
day.
cute.
Yeah, I look super cute in a Mini Cooper.
With the little checkered side
yeah,
mirrors.
checkered side
Adorable.
mirrors, and yeah, super adorable. It's
People
fun.
definitely think you're straight.
Well, the funny thing is when I pull into Starbucks or something,
They're like, hey girl,
they're like, oh my God, I love your car. I'm like, oh, thank you.
I love your shirt. You look so cute today.
But they do, the girls, the young girls, they're all like teenagers.
Well,
oh
it's
my
a cute
God,
car.
If I could have that car, that would be that's my dream car. And
Every
I'm
teen
like,
girl's dream.
really? Yeah, I guess I'm a teen girl.
I love
Thanks
it.
to your mom.
Yeah,
She
thanks
made
to
me into
Mom.
a teen girl.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, well now that you're close-ish to retirement age, what do you think you're gonna do next?
I don't know.
Not necessarily even in retirement, but like you're working, you've done your own stuff. Is there anything else upcoming like that you're wanting to do, or like I don't know?
I want to continue to travel. Your mom and I,
Yeah.
we go with Jeff and Brian and Carmen and Sergio, and we have done some traveling in the past. I want to continue that. We just all have so much fun when we're out and about, and it literally is a laugh a minute. And
Yeah.
I love it. I love hanging out with them. I love exploring new places and walking around and seeing stuff. I love going to Mexico with them. I really enjoy that. I'd like to get to Europe with all of them. I know they haven't been to Hawaii yet. I'd love to go to
wow,
Hawaii
yeah.
with them. Mom and I have been to Hawaii, and
Best place on earth.
it was beautiful for sure. So I'd love to go and experience that with those guys too.
Yeah. What's the best place? What's your favorite place you've traveled to?
My favorite place, I really love Germany, but I think, so Jeff and Brian introduced us to San Miguel in Mexico. And it's a little mountain town in central Mexico. And Jeff and Brian traveled down there a few times, ended up buying a house down there, and invited us down. I don't know how many times I've been
lot.
down there. It's been a bunch. And the only word that I can describe this little town is enchanting. That's the word that I use to describe it, because it is so fun. It's quaint, it's
How fun.
beautiful. The food there is amazing.
Is it like, have you seen the movie Encanto? Is it like you're in that little town?
Kinda.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
beautiful and cute and
Everything is beautiful,
Yeah.
and the people are lovely. There's all kinds of different people. There's Europeans there, there's Mexicans there, there's there's Americans, there's, it's just kind of a big melting pot of people from all over the place who've come here. It's got a nice little art thriving art community, so you can see and look at cool art. The shopping is fun. It is Mexico, so it is considerably cheaper to go hang there.
I'm
And
sure the food is amazing.
the food is absolutely incredible. Everything that you go to, every restaurant you go to or bar is up on the top floor of some building. So you get up to the top floor, then you're looking out
How cool.
along the valley or up to the
Rooftop
mountains.
bar everywhere you go.
Rooftop bars, yeah. They have a beautiful church in the middle of the square, and it's really incredible. And architecturally, it's really interesting.
So San Miguel's your favorite?
I think right now San Miguel's my favorite of
Okay.
all the places I've been.
Okay.
I could see myself living there.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I really could. And I don't think that I'm ever going to move there permanently, and I don't think Mom would either, simply because I don't think we could leave you guys
And Devin, yeah.
in Devon, and it's just too hard. I think, it's only 2 hours away
Maybe
on a
we'll
plane.
move there. Maybe
Well,
we'll do half and half.
Hunter's planning on being down there somewhere eventually, it sounds like, and the airport that you fly into from DFW into Mexico is called Querétaro, and that's where they want to be, and it's a 45-minute jaunt up the road from there.
So we'll be back and forth. Yeah, no, I've never even been outside of the country before.
Do you have a passport?
It's on the way.
Excellent.
I got my-
That's right, you're doing that this year, right?
Yeah, I got my picture taken. Logan did all the paperwork. It's on the way. But yeah, we're going to Bali at end of May.
Incredible.
Crazy. And then later in the year, we should be going to Ecuador.
Oh. Well, that's where his mom is.
Yep, to
So-
visit my husband's mom.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. I mean, the last time she was here, we were talking about it, and
Yep.
she loves it there.
Oh my
So,
gosh, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's
Are
just
you
like
gonna
kind
take
of San
Devin,
Miguel.
or are you gonna leave her here?
No, we're taking Devin.
Oh, she'll love that.
Are we?
Should.
Because we didn't get her a passport.
She'll need one.
Oh gosh.
And you'll have to. Oops.
Oh, I think we didn't get it because we were just worried about me and Logan getting to Bali. But yes, we do
Yeah.
need to get Devin a passport. She's coming to Ecuador. And then we're going to, I've never been to Michigan. We're going to Michigan in June or July.
What did you lose in Michigan?
I didn't lose anything, but again, Logan's mom, her brother and his family live in Michigan.
Okay. So Logan's uncle.
Logan's uncle, long story there. It's not really. What would his cousin be?
His cousin would be his aunt or uncle's child.
Aunt or uncle's child. Okay, so he always thought they were cousins, right? This family member we're seeing, let's call him M. He grew up thinking that he was the child of Logan's grandmother. He thought Logan's grandmother was his mom growing up, but it was really Logan's aunt that was his mom. She had a child really young, so her mom said, I'll be the mom. And so he didn't know. He thought it's sister.
So it
thought it
really,
was his
really
sister.
is his uncle then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. I didn't know whether to call it his cousin or his uncle.
Yeah.
But family member. But yeah, that's a crazy story. He didn't find out till he was in his late 30s
Wow.
that, hey, my sister is my mother. What?
Yeah.
And his
that's
sister's kind of
crazy.
kind of a jerk. Obviously. Didn't even want to.
No, wait. Okay, so it's Logan's mom's sister's kid.
Yes.
That's a cousin, not an uncle. Sorry.
Okay, so biologically
Biologically a cousin.
Okay, well that's his old cousin. I'm just kidding. It's his cousin who's older.
Well, you're going to Michigan at the right time.
Yeah, it'll be beautiful.
It will be beautiful.
We're gonna go
there
to
will
Lake
be a bazillion
Michigan.
mosquitoes, but it will be beautiful.
I know, and I'm O positive. That's the most attractive blood to mosquitoes.
I don't think that that's a true thing.
Okay, Google it.
I mean, look it up.
I just saw.
The reason I don't think that's true is because I am also O positive.
Oh, wow.
However,
so is Devin.
I don't ever get bit by mosquitoes. Ever.
Really?
I
I
can-
get bit up like insane.
I can be next
So does
to
Mom.
your mom. I could be next to Jeff and Brian and all these people, and everybody is being torn apart.
What kind of blood does Mom have?
I don't know, red?
I bet it's O.
I'm
something.
sure she's O positive as well. Yeah.
How weird.
But yeah, I don't get bit. I think your mom says it's because I'm nasty on the inside.
Yeah.
That's what she contends.
Core is disgusting.
I'm just disgusted. Yeah. I'm bitter.
Maybe that's it.
That
but
could be it.
No. Yeah, but I'm excited. I'm excited to travel. I haven't done I've been to Hawaii twice, so that's really cool. But other than that, just little boring states here and there passing through. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. It'll be really cool.
I'm lucky because I've traveled a lot for work, so I've been to nearly every state.
You've got a lot of perks from your work, a lot
I
of
have had a
basketball,
lot.
football, sporting events.
Sporting events, that's all in the past. I don't really care about that anymore. Although
Golf tournaments.
I hated golf.
Ugh. But
It's the
like
worst.
people would be jealous of that.
Yeah,
what is that?
some
The
people
US
would be.
Open? Is that a thing? Arizona?
No, that
What's that
was
called?
the Waste
Management.
Open.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I got to do that. Well, I took your mom to that. Though.
Yeah. She said she was not a fan. There's too many mini skirts and boobies out. So,
Yeah, it's not. I mean,
but that's Arizona for you,
that's
honestly.
just Arizona. Yeah.
It's too hot. No, that's not the real reason. But,
But traveling for work, I've been all over the country for work. So
and more.
and more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I want to go to Europe next. If there was, what's a lesson you've learned that's something you like? I've learned that lessons have to be learned the hard way. Like you don't just learn a lesson from someone telling you, "Hey, do this. Hey, don't do that." Like you literally have to go through it yourself. And that's something I learned from like, especially my little sister. Like, "Hey girl, I've been through this." And she doesn't listen. She's gonna have to go through it to get it. And that's the same way I was. People try to tell me, but nope, had to go through it. So what's one lesson, what's a big lesson that you
Like
learned the hard way?
A life lesson.
Yeah. Or work related, both.
I don't know. I think probably the hardest lesson I learned, I was 22 years old. My dad passed away. And I at the time I was living with him. So it was up to me to do everything. Like funeral homes and cemetery plots and all the things that probably today as an adult I wouldn't have struggled with as much to do. But,
Right, but when
as a
you're-
kid, I mean, I was a kid and
Yeah, how do
kind
you
of
even-
thrust into that. You're sitting there across
You don't even
from
have
this,
the internet. How did you figure that out?
oh well, you know, they help you. Like the police helped.
Oh,
and
okay. They give you some phone numbers.
Yeah, they say, hey, here's some folks, and they say, here's some places around town that can do this work.
Okay.
You know, where would you like to go? Just so happened to be living where my brother, when I was really young, passed away. So one of the places that
Took care of him.
the place that took care of my brother also took care of my dad.
Okay.
So, but I learned I had.
Where was your mom?
She was in Oklahoma. My parents were divorced.
Oh, by then? So your dad was in
yeah.
California?
Utah.
Utah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mom was in Oklahoma.
Mom was in Oklahoma, and a couple of days out.
It was just you and your dad living together?
Just me and my dad.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
And he was working?
Yeah.
And what were you doing? School?
Just working.
Where
Yeah.
were you working at the time?
I was working at the time. Was I working for him at the time? I may have been being a mechanic for him at the time.
Wow.
I don't remember. But yeah, that was a rough time.
Yeah, that's so crazy. That's a
It was really rough.
rough story, honestly.
Yeah. I'm leaving parts out. by
Yeah,
the way,
we're
but-
just skimming over. We don't have to get that deep. This isn't therapy.
That's
but
probably the hardest lesson I had to learn in life was how to take care of somebody when they're dead.
yeah, at such a young
'Cause you're
age.
thrust into it. You don't know what the rules are. You don't know what you're supposed to do. You don't know the right thing. You know,
And that just felt the hardest.
I have a very large family.
Yeah.
So trying to get everybody's wishes and everybody's desires handled while you're there in the trenches trying to do it and setting up all this stuff, it was really, really difficult.
Yeah.
That was probably the hardest thing I ever learned.
I bet. Yeah. Luckily, I haven't had the misfortune yet to go through like someone extremely close passing. So,
Yeah.
ugh. Hopefully, stays that way for a little bit.
Well, I hope so too. You know, what I know about life is that that's not the way it works. I mean, I've
You never know.
lost a lot of people close to me at this point, and as you grow older, it just becomes more and more
normal. Yeah.
And I don't know if normal's the right word, but it just becomes more regular,
Yeah.
I would say.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. Well, what it does is it makes you contemplate the choices that you make now. You start thinking about
Yeah,
your
maybe
own demise and what's going to happen and what happens if I choose to do this or choose to do that. How will that affect the people that I love and that I care about? So you really start thinking about those things as you get closer to your own mortality.
And
there.
probably being grateful for the relationships you do have, you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a hard lesson.
Tough.
So, what's speaking of hard things, since you've been a parent, I mean, you kind of came into parenting in an untraditional way. You married my mom, and she had a 5-year-old, 7-year-old, and a
5, 8, and 12.
5, 8, and 12-year-old. Wow.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Oh,
She's just so beautiful and awesome.
She's so awesome. I love her. It didn't matter. No, you know. 3
kids, and we
3
were
kids.
shitheads, okay? We were not.
You weren't, and Ben wasn't.
Give me cough medicine and tell me I wasn't a shithead.
Well, all I'm saying is that there were struggles for sure, but if you take out those little tiny things like you wouldn't take medicine or, you know, throwing up in the car or
Right.
throwing up on the bed, you know, those kind of things. But those are little tiny slices of time.
Yeah.
When you take the years and put those together, you were so sweet and so kind and very, very tender. Like,
Yeah.
just like
I'm a
your
sensitive little
feelings-
flower.
Your feelings could get hurt really easily. And
Still am.
and that's something that I struggled with, I think, as a dad, for sure.
Yeah, I thought you were evil when I first met you. I was like, this guy raises his voice at me? How dare he?
Oh, trust me, yeah. Listen, I was 35 years old and never had kids.
Yeah,
and
no.
Kind of thrust into that.
And then I chewed up the rubber on the door handle of your brand new Expedition. I just gnawed on it, chewed it up, and you let it
Chewed a
out
hole.
on me. And I was like,
really
oh my
upset
gosh,
about that.
what a meanie.
That's true. That's a true story. And I, you know, today I so regret those things.
I mean, I
because-
don't remember even what you said.
Of course you don't. But I do. And, you know, and so I think, well, all of my cars, I keep them very nice.
Yes.
I keep them clean. I keep
Spotless,
them washed.
actually.
And it's just something that, for me, it's something I enjoy doing. And
Yeah.
I also enjoy for my family to get in a car that is not a pigsty.
Yeah.
You know, I see some of these cars
Yeah, it's horrible.
and it's just like, oh my God, you know, there's French fries and crap and junk laying around. And
No.
I'm like, oh,
Speaking of, I walk my daughter to school every day, and they have a car line when I walk by.
you look inside there.
No, one lady, it was the worst thing I ever saw. She let her poor kid out, and the teacher, and he was riding in the front seat, whatever, not my kid, but she let him out, and the teacher was helping him out. It was literally filled to his knees with garbage.
Trash,
and
Way more
it
common than you
smelled
think.
like grease. It smelled
Yeah.
like French fries, old French. I was like, oh,
Way more
poor
common than
baby.
you think. But I really wanted to provide a really nice place for you. We
Clean,
had a
safe.
TV in the expedition for you guys back there. We had wireless headphones for you, and I really took a lot of pride in having that for you guys and providing that for you guys. And you, to be fair to you, your mom called you a little goat for years because
I'm a
you'd gnaw
chewer.
on the side of the table
Oh, yeah.
in the living room or chew through something that, a toy or things. And I just never thought that you would chew through the handle on a car. But you
I did
did.
not know that a car was expensive. No one ever told me that.
You wouldn't have known.
I was
not
5.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to you.
I was like, this is rubber. It feels good on my teeth. I'm stimming.
Yeah. Well, I would say this about your mom, though. So when we first started dating and actually getting to go out with each other and really started having deep discussions with each other about life and what my goals were, what her goals were.
Interject. You guys met when you were like 12, though, right?
No, 14 and
14
15.
at like a church event.
Church
And then didn't see
dance.
each other for years?
No, we actually turned into boyfriend and girlfriend in high school for a while.
Okay.
And then it was a long distance relationship in high school, which you could imagine.
Gotcha.
And remember, there's no FaceTime,
Cell
there's
phone,
no cell
texting.
phones. None of that existed. It was a
Phone
phone
call.
on the wall with a cord, and you'd have to talk.
And your mom's sitting at the dinner table 10
yeah,
feet away.
and it was long distance, not just across town, but across area codes. Your mom lived about 2 hours away, and she lived in a different area code. So
that never worked.
it was expensive, and so ultimately, hey, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
So you
'cause
both got married, both got divorced, then you started dating.
not exactly in that order,
But that's the gist.
pretty close. Yeah.
That's the main point.
Yeah. So, and listen, so what I was going to say is your mom, as we started getting serious about each other and really started talking about future and what that might look like, and
Yeah.
having you guys come to Texas and all of the things that were around that, she told me right away, she said, when you marry me,
Yeah.
I'm a package deal. You get all of it. You don't just get to pick and choose. And that, to be fair to her, that's a big risk to take.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought long and hard about it, because I thought for a long time I didn't ever want kids in my life. That's kind of just what I
Same.
thought. But I was also in my first marriage, which wasn't a really great marriage, and of course I didn't want kids with her, to bring that into that.
That's why you
and
thought. And then you
all the
didn't
fu-
grow up super great. So,
I did not have a great childhood.
Yeah. So you didn't know you
It's just
wanted
one of
kids.
those things. I didn't
don't
know.
know till you know.
And then, I got around you guys. Hey, were there issues? Sure,
but I was adorable. How could you not want one of your own?
So we dated for a while. We got married, and then a year later, we had your sister.
A
And
year later, yeah. You
Yeah.
really wanted one.
I did.
And she's adorable.
She is adorable. She was such a sweet girl when she was
a
tiny.
sweet, evil,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Well, you had a different relationship with her than I did. That's
Still
for
do.
sure.
Obviously.
Obviously. I will say though, it does make my heart feel good the way you guys talk to each other now, and that you guys are friends, and that you guys count on each other and rely on each other. It really,
Yeah. And we
it
still
just
give each
makes-
other a hard time.
Well, sure, you guys are
Sisterly
sisters.
love.
Yeah, but it does make.
But we
make
get
me
past
feel
it
really good.
in 5 minutes.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I love my little sister. And I don't think of her as a half sister at all, I don't like when people are like, oh, well, I guess I get it if they don't see them all the time. They're like, that's my half sister. But I've never told anyone, oh, I have a half sister.
Yeah.
Like, that's my little sister.
I don't treat you guys as stepchildren.
Right,
either,
I'm sure you're
so-
not like my stepkids.
No.
Yeah.
If-
I sometimes have to clarify my stepdad because I tell some people, like, yeah, my dad's a douchebag, So then if I talk to you, oh, I'm going to see my mom and dad, they're going to be like, okay. But I'm like, no, my mom and stepdad, the actual
Yeah. I think,
person I like.
yeah. Okay.
So sometimes I do have to clarify. I'm not like calling it out like, oh, yeah, my stepdad. But I'm like, yes, I do admit, like, fully, I label my dad as a jerk, so I don't want you to be associated with that.
Well, I appreciate the distinction.
Yeah. Just in case
But
you
I-
hear that in the future,
no,
that's why.
Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it, and I understand it. But that's also, that's also the role that I have.
Yeah.
So my job was to make sure that to do everything I could to have you be raised and be raised well and be able to make good decisions, which sometimes you did, sometimes you didn't.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, look how well you turned out. I mean, you're so fun, you're so
Not bad.
smart, you're super, super sweet, you're a fantastic mom. I love that about you.
Even though you said I traumatized Devin the other day, but
Well, you do traumatize her. There's no doubt
I
about
do,
that.
probably.
But that's part of the job of all parents is to traumatize
yeah,
children.
who doesn't?
Sure.
Who doesn't?
But
Yeah.
you are an amazing mom. I think one of the great things that I love about you is you have your mom's wit. You say things on this podcast a lot that just really crack me up, and I sit and laugh out loud.
Yeah, definitely get it from mom.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. She's a funny one. What was I going to say? Oh, I'm so lucky and glad that I found Logan because it's kind of a similar situation. I mean, obviously, when I met him, I had Devin. She was about 8 months old when we met. About 3 months into dating, he asked me if I wanted to be his girlfriend. And I was like, I don't know. I did not say yes because I was like, let me think about it because this is involving my daughter. Like, again, we're a package deal. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you're ready. Like, you think you're ready, but like, I don't know if you know what this means.
Yeah, poopy diapers.
So I tried to do that, and I like tried to scare him out of it. Had that conversation like this,
He's a
this,
good
and
boy.
this.
That was never going to work with him.
No, that was all
He's a good boy.
out the window, and he's like, "No, this is my child. I love her." I'm like, "Okay, well." So.
I've had a discussion about you guys with Hunter before, and just told him how grateful I am to him and
He's the
his
best.
parents because he's such an amazing guy.
Yeah.
And they did such a great job with him. So I
Yeah.
love him a lot.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like he's so good. Like it can't. Like he's fake, right?
Who?
Logan. Like you know what an NPC is?
No.
What's it stand for? Like in a video game, the computer character.
What's NPC? Mm-hmm. Okay. No, I don't know what that is, but
Okay, just like he's like AI, like he's
Oh.
just fake because he's so perfect. Like what's wrong with him?
I'm
Nothing.
sure. Listen, I know he's not perfect.
No, I don't know what's wrong with him. I mean, sometimes he just
Really?
thinks
You
like a
don't
man.
know? I mean, I was listening to you on Sunday. Sound like you had plenty that you were thinking about.
That's just because he thinks like a man.
Oh.
Other than that, I think that's his only problem.
So if he would just start thinking like a woman,
That would be perfect.
yeah, I'm sure that's the wish of all women. Gosh, if he could just be more like a chick,
If he
he'd
could
be
just
perfect.
find the can opener himself, that would be awesome.
Those are things that'll get better as he gets older.
Oh, you know what my number one marriage complaint is? When I'm getting stuff done, blah, 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 and I'm like, hey, can you help me? He's good about helping, but then he'll be like, okay, what do you want me to do?
That's not a him thing.
I know, he wants me to tell him but I'm like, take a look around, bud. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
want to take the time to figure it out.
That's not
Just
a
do
him
something.
thing. Guys in general, and listen.
It's a guy thing. That's what I'm
in,
saying.
I'm in my late 50s.
I know, you still do it.
And I would say I'm a lot better.
Yeah.
But your mom would say, I was awful
You
for a
need
really
some
long
work.
time. I could sit in the same room with her while she's working her ass off and
Not notice.
and not even notice. And she'd say, "Hey, could you do dishes?" Sure, and I'll go do the dishes. Or can
And
you
then
get
she'll
the
have to say,
vacuum out?
hey, do this. Hey,
Can you do this? Can you do that? And I'll do whatever I'm asked.
Yeah.
But I
But it's like an extra job for us to be a manager of you.
I'm so sorry that that's the extra job. That sucks. But
Like you don't know what needs to be done, really?
I'm not making excuses for men because I am one, but I will tell you
I won't fight
it will get better as you get older.
Yeah, I'm sure. And it's
Not
not
a
the
lot,
worst thing.
but it'll get
If
better.
that's the only thing I have to put up with, that's fine. You know?
Sure.
That's that's
Oh,
my
my
only
goodness.
complaint. Throwing my lip gloss around. Any marriage advice? Any little tidbit
Gosh.
sentence? Not like a speech or anything, but like
I think,
little saying that resonates. Never go
think
to
you-
bed angry.
that's maybe a little overworked.
Okay.
I think everybody breaks that
Sometimes,
rule.
yeah, sometimes you got to.
I think you just have to focus on being sweet to each other.
Yeah.
Say kind things instead of mean things. Even though the mean things are in there and you're thinking it and
Bite
you're
it.
pissed off at something or said something was said or done,
Yeah.
just be sweet. And listen, this isn't something I learned a long time ago. This is something I'm still working on. But what I've learned is when you're sweet and you're kind, things go so much better. Even if it's a difficult situation or a difficult conversation or something's happened and there's anger, if you're being sweet, it's going to go so much better.
Yeah, I agree. And that's something that I do struggle with. Naturally, I am a mean person, I think. My brain reacts, well, I'm not, but like with people I love, I'm like expecting you to read my mind, kind of. A little bit. So I'm like, really? You don't know what and I get frustrated with you, whatever. But, I mean,
Well, that's something a therapist told me one time and I was struggling and trying to figure out, what am I supposed to do? What does she want? What do I need to do? And she said, well, are you a mind reader? And I said, no. And she said, then how can you expect to do that?
yeah.
If she needs something, she should ask for something. If you need something, you should ask for something and have a discussion about it instead of just having a conversation
Getting
in your
resentful.
head and getting resentful about
Yeah.
it. Open your mouth and have a conversation. Super easy.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing me and Logan are always really good about. That's our strength is communication for sure. Anytime anything's a little bit off, we're like, hey, I'm feeling off, what's up? But we're really good at communication, and I'm not great at like being kind all the time, like on a day-to-day basis. But with Logan, I feel like I have enough respect for him and he has enough respect for me that when we're angry at each other, when we're arguing, going back and forth, whatever, or speaking to other people, we never call each other out of character. We would never call each other a name or say, and
That's
insult,
good.
really.
Yeah, because I've made all of those mistakes.
Maybe a little bit, like,
in my life,
We
Just
really don't insult each other ever.
kind, be
We're
nice.
respectful, and I think that's obviously a huge change from my last relationship, which was toxic as ever for 7 years.
Terrible.
But that's how I'm like, I think we respect each other enough to communicate and speak respectfully to each
That's
other,
good.
even in anger.
That's good.
Which
That's
is really
super
hard.
healthy.
Really hard.
Super healthy.
Yeah.
So
I still need to
Keep
work
that
on
up.
talking under my breath. What'd you say? Yeah. But, still in counseling, still working it all out.
that's a good key. I mean, hey, as long as you're working to get
Working.
better every time, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
So we started talking about parenting, but what's the hardest, what would you say is the hardest thing that you would tell people about parenting? Like maybe a couple who doesn't have kids, and like, what's the hardest part?
Gosh, I think the hardest part is watching your kids make the same mistakes that you've made.
Yeah.
And
Watching them
telling them, hey,
make the
be
lesson.
careful,
Yeah.
make sure you do this or make sure you do that. And
We just ignore it.
yeah, that's the hardest part. It's
It's
super
so hard.
frustrating because, and you're gonna know this with Devin.
I
as she
will. I
gets
know
older.
it with Alex,
Yeah,
and that hurts. So I can't imagine with your own kid.
it gets it just magnifies as the years go on. And
Yeah.
things change and they get their own their own personalities and
Opinions
and you know, I like the difference between Alex and I, you know, that's 38 years of life difference there.
Yeah,
So
a lot.
you know,
Generation.
I've done a lot more than she has, but when you talk to her, she thinks that I'm out of touch and maybe that I don't know everything, but I pretty much do.
Yeah.
And so that's probably the hardest thing, is just watching your kids make mistakes that you've already made, and you've told them, hey, you know,
Right.
here's a trap coming up. You should really maybe take a shift over here, and you could save yourself some heartache, and then
Yeah.
go through it.
Well, even with young kids, it's still a little bit like that. Like, I'm trying to tell Devin stuff, and she just totally rejects it. And I'm like, I'm trying to teach you how to be a good person. You need this later in life.
She's trying to make her own personality right now. You and her were so different as kids.
Oh my gosh.
So
she
different.
reminds me so much of Alex, though. It's insane. I call her Alex.
She's a
Too
lot
much.
like Alex. Alex was very outgoing, very gregarious. You know, she had her own thing going all the time. I know she worked very hard on manipulating you guys.
Right. And she was a little bit evil to me, but that's how Devin is to me.
Well,
She has the super sweet side, but then
Alex
she's
wanted
a
to be
sour
a part
patch.
of your life and be a part of your friendships.
She did, and I pushed her out, but I don't do that with Devin, obviously. I include her in everything. But she's like, I feel like I have my little sister again sometimes. Definitely way deeper.
Well, then you know the roadmap, right?
But yeah, I'm like, okay, Alex. And they look so similar, do they not?
Yeah, they do.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
When I go out with Alex and my sister and my daughter, everyone thinks that it's my
That's
sister's
Alex's.
child because
Yeah.
she's blonde hair, blue eyes like her.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, at Target the other day, me and Logan and Devin were at the checkout, and the cashier's like, who does she look like? Like, looking at us. Because I have black hair, brown eyes. He has brown hair, brown eyes. We're like, neither. Thanks for making it weird, though.
Yeah, appreciate you making it weird. You're this milkman kid, but thank you.
I cheated.
Oh, stop it. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, but I'm like, really, girl? Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, parenting's hard. I'm learning that now.
Parenting's so hard.
Learning a lot of things, understanding you and mom a lot more. You know, we were all just people once. We were just boys and girls who happened to become parents, you know? So definitely understanding it from your perspective a little more,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's going to be a long road,
Yeah.
but you're up for it. It'll be good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And you're not alone.
Not alone. I have a lot of family, a lot of friends to support me. Yeah, I mean, everyone says, like, if you're an awful teenager, like, mean to your mom, you're going to get it 3 times worse. So we'll see about that. I don't know how it could be 3 times worse unless she's going to murder me, but...
Oh, she's not going to murder you. Like,
Man.
it's the same thing with your partner. Just be kind and be sweet. If you
Yeah.
can continue that, even in the throes of a tantrum and crying and kicking and screaming and spitting and biting and all the things that rotten kids do, just remain constant, remain calm, remain sweet. She's going to pick those things up from
Yeah,
you.
I mean, it's definitely, she's teaching me
Yeah.
how, because
She
I'm
will.
a very impatient person and still am, but I've definitely come a long way thanks to her. Yeah, but we talked about your jobs, your past a little bit. Your childhood was pretty rough. Became a parent. What are some, I think we covered like all my regular topics. We got most of the questions out of the way. What are some like hot topics that are like in your mind, at the front of your mind right now? Anything in the news or hot topics going on that you care about?
I mean, listen, I think...
We don't talk about politics either.
Yeah, and I don't, and I'm not a big politics guy anyway. It's just, I do what I think is right and the
Yeah.
things that I want to do.
Yeah, follow
and
your morals.
Follow the things that I want to follow, and I think everybody should do that. Everybody has a different opinion. You know, the old saying, opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, and they all stink. So, you know, people that try to bait people into conversations on Instagram or Facebook, I've never known of any one person who had their mind changed by some discussion that was on Facebook.
Oh no, it's a
some-
scientific fact that it's 90% proven that you can't, if someone set their mind to something, you can't change their mind.
Can't change their mind. And listen, I don't want to change their mind.
No.
I just want them to be open to letting me do my thing.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
whatever that is. You know, one of the things, I think a hot topic for me, one of the things I've learned recently in my life, and the importance of telling people how you feel. You know, growing up, my family was not a touchy-feely family. We weren't huggers. We didn't tell each other that we loved each other. We didn't. It was just not like that ever.
Yeah.
And I always said, hey, that's not how it's going to be in my family. I don't want that for my family. So I've been, and it's a struggle for me to do that. But one of the things I
It
realized
feels weird,
is,
like when you do something that you're like, oh, my parents didn't do that, but I want to do that. Sometimes it feels unnatural, you know?
sure.
You have to kind of force it.
But I've realized also, you know, in the last few years that should really extend past just your family. Like I have
Yeah.
people in my life that I love and would do anything for.
And you got to let them know.
Yeah, you got to tell them, because, you know, if you don't, maybe you say something sometime and
You just expect them
comes
to know.
across
They don't
wrong,
know.
and you don't, you know, that's it. So
Yeah.
I've really been working on that for me lately, and it is
Good.
it is a strange thing to tell another grown man that I love him. You know,
But what's
it
the
feels-
worst they could say back?
It feels strange to me to say it. At least it did in the beginning. It doesn't feel so strange anymore. but,
Yeah. Now that you've had some practice.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that
I'm sure it's
I've
pretty
worked on.
well received. People aren't going to be like, oh my gosh, gross.
Well, I mean, some people do that just because that's the relationship that we have. but other people's, you know,
Yeah.
they love it. And listen, I think the folks that I talk to, and I'm not a big texter. It's not my thing. I like to pick up the phone and call and talk to somebody. I really love having a conversation versus, you know, doing this.
Yeah.
That drives me nuts. I'm not great at it, and it takes too long in my mind. And I want to hear the other person. I want to hear the inflection in their voice. And
Yeah.
I want to, you know, if I can see them, that's even better. I'd much rather sit down and
See
have a
their
conversation. Than,
expressions.
yeah. So, but yeah, so getting as you get older and as you start to, you know, see your sun setting, you know, on what things are, you know, think about you. In your lifespan that you have right now, I'm not going to make it that much farther in my life when
Right.
you think about it like that. Most likely. I mean, there's a chance, but not many
Got like
folks.
20 years.
Huh?
Got like 20 years.
Oh, I hope I have more than that.
30 max. I mean, what's the life expectancy
Yeah,
these
30.
days?
I mean, I think I could probably get to my
We could
mid
get to 30,
80s.
yeah.
My mom is racking up there.
That's
and-
true. 80. We can make
yeah,
it.
I think we can make that. But so those things are in the back of my mind now, and I think about those things and the impact I want to make on other people, and the impact I want to make to my family is very different today than it was way back when.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's something I feel like I've learned as I've gotten older. So I've always been a little bit shy, but now I feel like something that brings me so much joy is just like being nice to strangers. Like giving someone a random compliment. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love your makeup. I love that. People come to my house we have people working on our house, and like the workers, I'd give them water and snacks and ask them if they needed anything. Or like we had someone give us a quote for something. I ask them if they want a drink. I tell them that they have beautiful eyes if they have beautiful eyes, which he did. And not that I liked him. I said it right in front of Logan. Wow, you did it. You had beautiful eyes. I still remember. And yeah, and then like I love, like, if I see homeless people, I feel like I'm really good at reading people also. So, like, when I see you, I know what's up.
Yeah, I think it's a work in progress for me still. You're obviously way ahead of me as far as that goes. But yeah, I try to let the people that I love know.
Yeah, that's
And-
that's probably should be your focus, you know.
Yeah.
I shouldn't really be caring about strangers, but I do.
Well,
And I
it's
make
nice
little.
that you're nice to strangers. I think that's a
Yeah.
good personality trait to have for
Yeah.
sure. Because, you know, it takes a lot more effort to be ugly and mean than it does to be nice, I
That's
think.
true. That's true. And people just apparently think I'm like, what's the word? Approachable. So I can't really help that. I don't try to be approachable, but I am. So it comes my way and it just happens. I actually I made little pre-made bags that I keep in my car now for if I see a homeless or struggling person. So I have little bags with like protein shakes, a Band-Aid, a hand wipe, soap, anything a little homeless person would need.
That's
Or a
really
big homeless
sweet.
person.
That's super sweet.
What if you were homeless?
Don't say that.
I would just think, I mean, I picture it all the time.
I don't
what
think
if
I
was
could be homeless. We have too many children. I would just come and live at your house or Charlie's house or
Yeah, that's
with
true.
Ben or, you know, try to
You'd
figure
figure
it out.
You have friends and family.
Yeah. I'd probably go to Carmen and Sergio and stay
Oh
in
my
my room that they
gosh.
have out there.
Go to Jeff and Brian's, you'll be fine.
I could have a room there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You got plenty of places to go.
Yeah.
But I always tell Logan, like, if we want to quit our jobs and just sell everything, we can go live on a beach in an RV. I'll make bracelets. You make some carne asada tacos, sell them on the street. We'll hang out.
Doesn't sound like a great life, but it sounds like a life.
I mean, you're on the beach every day. What's wrong with that?
I mean, I would burn into a crisp.
You would, yeah.
Yeah.
But Cali, 75 most of the time. I don't know. I could do it. I'd be fine. I've
think I
had
could.
worse circumstances, so I could do living on the beach for sure.
I think I need more comfort than that in my life at this point.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Kind of back to work, I guess, since this is kind of your expertise. I feel like any work questions or career questions, I feel like you know the answer. This is a question I get all the time because I have a lot of friends that are career transitioning, stuff like that. And we talk about resumes a lot, and I, let them know, hey, I use ChatGPT for everything. But a question that's come up a lot recently for like me and my age group is like, do you or have you lied on your resumes before? Is that a common thing you think?
I mean, the last resume I had was done by a resume professional. And so I think as you get older, resumes change.
Yeah.
Right? When you're younger, it's like, oh, I spent 2 years as a cashier doing this, or, oh, I was a coordinator for that, or I did this. And as you get older, when you're attacking different jobs, like executive jobs or something like that, it's much more important to talk about data. So
Yeah.
sales.
Sales.
Maybe it's sales, maybe it's efficiency, maybe it's
Gotcha,
human
numbers,
resources driven,
yeah.
numbers, retention, all these types of things. So those are things
Can't really lie.
it's really difficult to lie
Yeah,
about
it's
that.
hard to like make up a random number.
Yeah, and I wouldn't, because then they might expect something of me that I couldn't do. So
Gotcha.
I don't want to do that either. I want to be honest and truthful. Maybe as a younger person,
Yeah.
I don't know that I lied, but maybe
Sometimes you
stretch
stretch.
the truth.
Yeah.
Maybe in my 20s
To get
I
the
did
opportunity. I think that's normal. When you're young, sometimes
Yeah.
you gotta get yourself in the door. So that's that's the advice I've given to people who are like, still early 20s. I'm like, you can lie on your resume, guys.
that. No, I wouldn't recommend it.
You can put me as your old boss. They're not gonna Google their phone number.
Yeah, I mean, I don't recommend lying on a resume. As somebody who hires people in different
How
levels
far
of
do you
life,
look into references?
I go pretty deep.
Really? You
Yeah, I
look at their Facebook?
I look at LinkedIn. I look at Facebook. If they have Twitter, Instagram, I look at everything.
That's crazy.
Because to me, that's how you really get to know somebody. Because that 30
Yeah.
minutes or hour I spend with you on the phone or on
You don't want to
Teams,
hire a racist.
I'm not going to get to know you. I'm going to hear a lot of things that you've been working on saying for however long you had to prepare.
Prepared, yeah.
Right? And so you get to see things that people don't prepare for. One of my favorite things to do, and was for a really long time, was to ask people to tell me a joke at the end of a
Oh my gosh, that's good.
of a
I love
resume.
interviewing people.
or at the end of an interview, because I'd say, all right, well, we're done. I only have one question left. Tell me a joke. And most of the time, people go white blank because it's like,
I was not prepared for
I
that
didn't-
one.
And I say, take a minute here, I'll get you started. So I tell them a cheesy joke real quick.
Oh,
It's
gosh.
always the same joke, by the way, but because I don't remember jokes.
Yeah.
So and that usually gets them going and helps them get moving, and then they'll tell me a joke. Well, this happened a few years ago, not at my current company, but at a company I used to work for. And I asked this person to tell me a joke. And they told the most racist joke I think I had ever heard. And this person killed the interview. I mean, killed it. And at first,
Oh my gosh.
I was kind of like,
What race was he? Was it a white male?
yeah, of course it was.
Disgusting.
And I was just like, and this was a panel interview. So it wasn't just me. There were like 4 other people in the room. And I looked to the person to my right, I looked to my person to the left and across the table, and I'm thinking everybody heard the same thing that I heard.
Yeah.
And they all have the exact same look on their face. So I said, hey, you know what? Appreciate you coming in. We'll get back with you. And that was the end of the interview.
Did he know he messed up?
I don't know how you couldn't, but it didn't feel like he did.
He was like, oh, okay. See
But
you
I
later.
can tell you that right up until that very
He
second,
had the job.
he had the
You
job.
don't remember the joke?
That he told?
Yeah.
No, I know one joke.
What was your joke that you told?
It's the same joke I always tell Devin. Knock, knock,
Who's there?
hatch.
Hachu.
Bless you.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, that's the only joke I know.
Oh my gosh. I have one joke that's now my go-to that I've like prepared for when people say, tell me a joke. Go ahead.
Tell me a joke.
All right. So a horse and a snake walk into a bar, right?
Okay.
The bartender says to the snake, how'd you walk in here? You have no legs.
Yeah.
I think
True.
there was a better delivery. I gotta look that up again. But
Oh, that was the whole joke?
that was the whole joke.
Oh gosh, that was awful.
Oh, I think I was supposed to do it like this. A snake into a horse walk into a bar. The bartender says, how'd you get in here? You have no legs. Or how'd you walk? I don't know. I think you got to be more surprised.
Oh, yeah.
I'll practice.
I mean, I get the joke that the snake walked into a bar. The snake has no legs. I get that part.
but it just wasn't funny.
I just didn't get how. That's the delivery.
feel
Work
you.
on the delivery.
Yeah, it's the
baby. You'll get
delivery
it.
for sure.
Now, your mom, she remembers jokes, but all of hers are super dirty, so I can never use her jokes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but they're great jokes. I'll give her that.
Man. Yeah, I need to get better at jokes. I mean, being a stand-up comedian would be so fun, but it's so hard. And we went to that comedy show with me, Ben, and Alex, and Logan, and they were kind of like, they're not professional comedians, and they were doing a roast, and they're just like kind of, like they've been doing it for a while, but they're not famous at all. I mean, a lot of them, 80% bombed. Like, and I felt bad, so I'd be like, good job. Because no one would clap and get silent. And I'd be like, it's okay.
It's awful.
But yeah, it's tough to watch, and I can't imagine how that feels. So that's got to be such a hard job.
I think your mom would be an amazing
She probably
comedian.
could, and her feelings wouldn't even get hurt.
No, she is so fast and quick-witted. I mean, I am in awe with her. And I mean, I totally get her sense of humor, so I may be slightly biased, but we laugh about things that other people look at us like, what the hell are you laughing at?
Yeah.
You know? but she is so quick. In a group of people, somebody's talking, and she just has bing, bang,
She's
boom,
super
bang,
smart.
boom. Yeah, she's so smart.
Super smart. She knows a lot of stuff about a lot of different things.
She's very, very fantastic.
She was her own lawyer in our custody case.
Yeah.
She represented herself and won.
Represented herself, and
I mean,
she
it was an easy win, don't get me
kicked
wrong,
ass.
but
It wasn't
she
an
did a
easy
really
one.
good job. Yeah, it wasn't, but
We battled a lot
Shoulda
over
been.
the years. Yeah. It's
yeah, she was
unfortunate.
her own attorney and had everything organized, ready to go.
Smart.
Crazy. So
Yep.
she could be an attorney, she could be a chef, she is a notary. She's officiated she's a wedding officiator.
She can
be.
marry people. That's right. She
Yeah, just crazy
was
stuff.
a DJ.
She was a DJ as a teenager.
She said that on your.
Yeah, she did, but
on your
I don't think
podcast.
people caught it because she said disc jockey, and people are probably
Yeah.
like, "What's a disc jockey?" No, she was a DJ at a radio station.
Yeah, she was amazing. Still is.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think we covered all of our topics. I ask every guest, if you had one superpower, what would your superpower be?
One superpower would have to be flying.
Ugh, you say that,
Yeah.
but no, it's teleporting is what you want to say.
No.
Flying, you're going to get shot down by the government.
I want to fly. I want to feel the air rushing over me, feel the ground underneath me, watch things change.
All right. It does feel
I have
good
a
to fly.
desire to fly.
Where have I felt like I was flying? On a roller coaster, maybe?
I don't know. That's a good question.
But yeah, it would feel good to fly, I feel like.
Probably in an airplane. You felt like you were flying. I mean, I don't
No, you don't even feel like you're flying in an airplane.
No, not
You know,
anymore.
not the
Not the
breeze in
big
your
ones.
face. But yeah, I think teleporting. I know teleporting is mine because you still get from place to place, but way faster.
Yeah, it's not about fast for me.
Oh yeah, I think it's my impatience. That makes sense. Is why I want to.
You're
My
impatient?
impatience and ADD. I'm like, give me here, give me there.
Impatience. Okay.
Is that a word?
I'm not really sure.
Impatience.
Impatient.
Impatience.
You're saying impatience.
That's a good question. That doesn't
Look it
sound
up.
right. Look it up. Let me know. Impatience?
No. I
She
don't
has
think
so much impatience.
I don't think that.
Let's
She's
ask
not
Mom.
patient.
She will know. Going along with superpower, we talked about cars a little bit. What's your dream car?
My dream car? It would be a Porsche 911 midnight blue with camel interior.
Pretty cool.
Not to be specific or anything, but that has to be.
Does
it.
the midnight blue have like a little sparkle?
Yeah, oh yeah, it does.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and really, it's the version I want is the 992 version of the 911. That's the one that I want. I just find them incredibly beautiful. I've had the opportunity to drive one, and so I know what it does.
Grown
and
up around.
Grew up around them. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Crazy.
handy, so if something went wrong, I'd probably just bust it out and fix it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love that.
yeah.
Love that. I was going to ask your favorite snack, but that reminded me. I think your favorite snack is Moose Munch because that's what Mom always tells me. Harry and David. What's your favorite snack?
Favorite snack?
Like of life, not like right now.
Gosh. Well, looking at me, you wouldn't know this, but I don't snack a lot. I love to eat, but I don't do a lot of snacking.
Okay.
I would
but
think
like a treat.
So my favorite snack would be like to sit down to watch a football game and have chips and queso. I
yeah.
love that.
You can't deny
I love
it.
doing that.
You can't deny chips and any kind of dip, really.
Yeah, chips and queso.
Yeah. Speaking of Harry and David, though, I think Logan's telling his mom this, what I want for my birthday. But if anyone you know asks, you know what I've always wanted? A Harry and David gift basket.
Like peaches or pears and that kind of stuff.
Because you used to get them for work or you'd send them to like other coworkers or bosses and I'd see them. I'm like, oh my God, that looks so good. Or you'd get them and you guys would take the good stuff and like give me the scraps. And I was like, dang, I just want.
Well,
and
to
I
be
still,
fair, when you were little, you didn't want to eat a pear. You wanted to go
I
straight
do
for the
now.
Moose Munch.
I do
Yeah.
now. And now I'm like, I want more than it. I would never just go and buy a basket for myself. That's weird.
Why is that weird?
That's expensive also.
Oh, yeah, they are.
But yeah,
expensive.
please, someone buy me a Harry and David basket. It's my birthday.
Well, it's out there now.
Harry and David, the full one with the pears and the bottle of wine. Okay, full deluxe, cheeses, all of it.
They are great at it.
Oh
There's
my
no
gosh,
doubt.
yeah. If you don't know what Harry and David gift baskets are, you should look online because you're gonna want one too. Yeah, I think that's about it. We do ask Abby, but no one's asking questions. I'm about to cancel it. It's already canceled. Here and now, I'm canceling it. You guys suck. We'll get there maybe one day when you guys
you'll
like
get
me
there.
more. You
You're
have
starting out.
any questions, comments, opinions, closing arguments?
No closing arguments. I just would say thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
I love you so much. I'm so proud of you. I really am.
I love you too. I'm proud of myself too. No, I'm just kidding. I am proud of myself.
It's fantastic. I love watching and listening, and I laugh, and it's great.
Yeah, I think it's funny. I think it's fun for the people around me, and I'm just starting out, and it's fun, and it's cool, and I think like, if anything, even if this amounts to nothing, I'm fine with that. But like, it's just fun, and it's cool. Like, it's cool to think like, what if I died in a couple months? How cool is it that I have a YouTube channel interviewing, talking to all the people that I love?
It's amazing.
Play that at my funeral.
Yeah,
All right.
play that at the funeral. Put that in
Yes.
your pipe and smoke it.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your weeknights to be
You're very
here.
welcome.
And I love you.
Thank you. I love you too.
And we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.